So you have any questions? No. No questions? This time of 5 degenerations will then transform into the path to the fully awakened state. This time of 5 degenerations means this time people's life will be short, degeneration of life. People's afflictive emotions will be strong. Okay, that is the meaning of degeneration of afflictive emotions. People's view, how they see things, will be wrong. The time also, time of degeneration, because there will be a war, famine, so many things happening as we see now. And then sentient beings themselves are not living in harmony with nature, so that's also one degeneration. So this time of 5 degeneration will then transformed into the path to the fully awakened state. That means we are passing through a very difficult time, which you can clearly see that people are more focused with money and wealth and not focusing much on inner development. Okay, so that's why we see problems, lack of harmony everywhere that you can see. It's not only something the text is saying, but it's something that you can see. But under such a difficult situation, the one thing that can really help you is if you have this mind training. And particularly in the mind training, there is a practice which is called transforming misfortune into the path. When the situation is good and happy, then it's not so difficult to practice. But when the situation is difficult and hard, then if you are, instead of getting discouraged, if you are able to use that difficult situation into spiritual practice, then nothing can harm you, nothing can obstruct you. You see? Okay? So therefore, this mind training practice is preparing your mind to such an extent that you will be able to transform everything into positive practices. So therefore there are teachings which says don't get unhappy with suffering, because suffering is introduction to happiness. Suffering also has a lot of qualities. It reduces your arrogance. When you are suffering, then you become humble and respectful, you see. I've seen this many times, and I'm sure you have seen this also. Like when you fly in an aeroplane, in the beginning everybody acts as somebody. I'm flying, you see. So people don't want to really smile or talk, but everybody just on their own and take their seat. Not necessarily very friendly. Okay? But in the air, when the captain announces, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seat belt. You are entering the turbulence zone. And finally, when you enter the turbulence zone and when you feel the turbulence, have you seen? People are more friendly. They look at each other, they start smiling. Have you seen that? See, that's the teaching. That when in difficulty, when you problem, then smile helps. Friendship helps. So you should not pretend in life. No, most of the time we pretend I'm somebody, So suffering is introduction to happiness. Suffering reduces your arrogance. Suffering makes you understand what is suffering. Thereby you will be able to understand other suffering much better if you suffer. If you have never suffered, you will never have idea what suffering means. As I said earlier, suffering means challenges. Challenge gives you the opportunity to grow. Just like the wrestling, you know wrestling? When two people wrestle, then it gives you an opportunity to grow your muscle. You see? Through wrestling, through challenging, you become stronger. If you look at most of the world leaders, they become leader because they had faced a lot of difficulties and problems. So they become brave and they face challenges and they become leaders. Good or bad, I don't know, but they become leaders. You see? So therefore, with this practice of bodhicitta, even the misfortunes can be transformed into the path. The 5D degeneration will then be transformed into the path. To the fully awakened state means the state of Buddhahood. Next, explaining the preliminaries as basis for practice. So we talk about 7-point mind training. So you need to remember this 7-point mind training, out of which the first is, first train in the preliminaries. That is the first of the 7 points. First train in the preliminaries. When you undertake Buddhist practice, you need to have some idea about the preliminary practice. So one of the preliminary practice is to appreciate your precious human life. Have you appreciated your life? Have you ever appreciated your life? I don't think much. That's why you always feel something missing, If you start appreciating your life, you will start experiencing peace. You will start experiencing happiness. You will be able to sleep better. You will be able to work better. You will be more alert, fresh, and awake if you start appreciating your life. Okay? So appreciating your life can be done in many ways. One, this human life is called precious human life because we have this great human mind, the potential that discriminates between what is right and what is wrong, that has the capacity to analyze what is good to you right now and what is good to you in the long run. No other animals can do that. They may have little bit, but not to the extent as we the human beings have. It is because of this we are more or less controlling the whole world today. Not necessarily in a negative, positive sense, because we are very often misusing our intelligence. But if we properly use our human intelligence in the right way, even one person can be the source of peace and happiness for millions of other people, like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, and so many other people. Just one person can make millions of people happy. So the purpose of such spiritual practice is that you need to make a small commitment, in a way not small, big commitment. And that commitment is not just reciting some sadhanas or mantras, that also you can do. But the main commitment is to say that in my life, I will try to help others, at least 10-20 people, if not many. Make their life easier and happier. Human beings or other animals also. If you are able to do that, your journey into this world has become meaningful. Clear? That's the purpose of visit on this planet. We are visitors on this planet. And the purpose of visitor is to enjoy, but not to destroy. You see, when you go around the world traveling as a visitor, how do you go? With what attitude do you go? You go and visit these places to be able to appreciate the culture there, enjoy the harmony and peace there. You do not go there with the motivation that I will pollute the river and water there, I will throw the rubbish there. You don't go with this idea. So similarly, on this planet we are visitors. We are not going to live here forever. Yesterday I give you a big discount, Even after that I said you will live not more than 60 years. You see? So during this short stay here, our task is to make life of other people as much as possible more peaceful and happier. That's our job. And by doing that, you will be happier. The more you try to lead a very manipulating and cunning life, taking advantage of others in all situations, the more you will suffer in the long run. Because it goes against your conscience. It goes against the law of nature. It goes against the thinking of great beings like Buddha or whoever, God or whatever. It's human nature. So therefore, it's important, first of all, to do these practices. The groundwork has to be done. And one of the groundwork is to be able to appreciate this human life. Imagine if you are today born as a dog or a cow. Forget about any spiritual practice. Your concern will be only how to get food. And even that will be very difficult for you. Okay? But you are not a dog, not a cow. Human being with all these facilities at your disposal. And among human beings also there are many whose minds are not inclined towards any spiritual practice. Their bent of mind is such that all they think about is violence. Unfortunately, there are people like that today. So imagine their life. What are they going to achieve? You see? There are people who think that only my religion is good and the rest are devil's religion or useless. And they think about eliminating them. Stupid. You see? The world needs many religions. So it is wrong to say that because this is my religion, that is best for everybody. Religions are like medicines. There are so many medicines in the market. If you say we need only one medicine, rest will throw away. Stupid. And if somebody asks you which medicine is best, what will be your answer? If somebody asks you which medicine is best, you cannot say a particular medicine is best because it is very pricey. You cannot say this medicine is best. Which medicine is best for, it depends on different individuals. If your headache, then the medicine which removes your headache is best for you right now. But this does not mean to say that that medicine is good for everybody. It may be good for you, best for you, but not necessarily good and best for everybody. So religion is like that. Buddhism may be best for me, good for me, but this does not mean to say it's good for everybody. Christianity may be good for someone else, but this does not mean to say it's good for everybody. So it's stupid to fight over name of religion, fight over name of country. Very stupid, very narrow-minded. Religions are like food, food for the mind. When you sit for lunch and dinner in your family, the father says, I like bread. The mother says, I like rice. The children say, we like ice cream. We don't want to eat, we like ice cream. So then will you fight? If the father says, since I like bread, everybody must eat bread. The mother says, since I like rice, everybody must eat rice. Do we say things like that? No. Let everybody enjoy what they like, so long as it is good for health. If it's not good for health, then you can suggest. Still, you can't force, but you can suggest, no, not too much ice cream, not good for your health. You can give that suggestion. But otherwise, you can take whatever you like. So similarly, religions are food for the mind. So anybody who, depending upon whatever their interest, they should be allowed to follow whatever and respect that. Respect that. And at least you should, before you say bad things about other religion, you should at least have some idea the teachings of that religion. But most of the time people have no idea about what the teaching is, and then they simply talk bad things about other religion, which is very, very bad. It's very bad. So therefore, one of the preliminary practices is to appreciate your human life, precious human life. And you are not going to, according to Buddhist teaching, you are not going to, don't take it for granted. Don't think that you are going to that human life again and again. At least according to Buddhist teaching, what will be your next life depends upon what you do now or what you've done in the past. You can now, next time you can be born as a dog, as a cow, as an insect, depending upon your karma. That's what we say. But you should think about how it makes sense. So there's no guarantee that if you are today human being, you will be human being all the time. Now, even if you're born as a human being, there's no guarantee that you will have the same facilities as you have right now. You can be born as a poor beggar, or you can be born as a person where there is no possibility to undertake any spiritual practice or undertake any spiritual transformation. Everything is possible. So therefore, to ensure a successful spiritual practice and mental development, we need to do some practices right now so that our life will be better each time when we are reborn again, if you are a believer in the future lives. According to Judaism, do you talk about future life?
Yes.
You talk about future life?
Secretly.
Secret teaching, okay. You talk about it. Yeah. So it is important to think also whether it is possible to have future life or not. Tomorrow is there, of course. We know tomorrow is there. If you live for another 30 years, those coming days are there. But this does not mean to say that you don't change. You almost become a different person every day. But because it's the same continuity, you say, I'm going to live for another 30 years, things like that. So the future life is like that. It's the continuity. It's the continuity of the mental energy with the memory, with the habits. So depending upon what habits you have accumulated, you take different rebirths. So therefore, the first thing that we need to do in order to undertake Buddhist spiritual practice is to appreciate that we are today born not only as a human being, but born with a human life where there is freedom and facilities to do spiritual practice. You are free from what is known as the four external leg of freedom. For external leg of freedom means that if you are born in a hell realm, the pain and suffering so much that you cannot even think about any spiritual practice, but you are not born in a hell realm, so you are free from that. You are also not born as a hungry ghost. Hungry ghosts are those spirits who, because of their past lives' karmas, always looking for food but not getting it. Not getting it. Even on those days when they get food, as soon as they put it in their mouth, it becomes fire. So there are so many interesting stories like that. Okay? So at least we know that we are not born as a hungry ghost. And it's for sure that we are not born as an animal. Now how much suffering and problem is there with animals, I don't have to explain really. You can imagine how they are faring. You know, they are killed for meat, they are killed for leathers, they are killed for sports, they are killed for fun. I mean, human beings worry only about themselves, and the rest are for their enjoyment. We had experience with mad cow disease, experience with swine flu, experience with bird flu, so many things. So every time there is this flu and disease, oh, I will die, kill all the animals. When there were mad cow disease, thousands and thousands of cows were burnt alive, killed alive. When there was swine flu, thousands of pigs were killed.
What can you do?
Huh? And then with the bird flu also. You see? So we care so much about ourselves, but not about others. But does this mean to say that if you also have another human being having that kind of flu, you kill those human beings also? I mean, it's pointing to something. I'm not saying that you don't take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. But all I'm saying is maintain a holistic attitude and think about how all these flus, first of all, came into being. You see? Take a bigger picture. So it's not just killing everybody that you will survive, but probably nurturing, taking care of the whole environment which will sustain you. So that's all I'm saying. So therefore my main point is that we are not an animal, so we are free from this 4 external leg of freedom. Similarly, we are also free from 4 internal leg of freedom, which means even if you are born as a human being, but if you are born in a very barbaric land, where you talk only about violence and killing and things like that, then there is no opportunity for you to do practice, which is not there in our case. Even if you are born as a human being, but if your senses are not functioning, your senses are not intact, again you can't do Dharma practice. So we are lucky again, we don't have those problems. Even if you are born as a human being, but if you have a very perverted view, wrong view, oh, I don't believe in law of causality, oh, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in Buddha, you know. I mean, you have every right not to believe in everything, but don't just say it without any knowledge, you see. So there are some people who reject everything, and they start believing something only when they get a lot of problem, when they don't know how to handle things, then they start coming back to their senses. But then it's too late, you see. I'm not saying you believe in everything. All I'm saying is, don't just reject everything without any knowledge, you see. So if you are born with a wrong view, there's nothing you can do. You will reject everything. And the result of such rejection is that you will have, at the end of the day, you will have nowhere to turn to. No positive mental outlook, no hope, no aspiration. That's what I'm saying. And even now this is a Buddhist teaching, okay? So therefore we are saying the 4th is that even if you are born as a human being, but if you are born in a place where there is no Buddha or no Dharma is available, then again you don't have that freedom from that internal freedom, but you have access to their teaching today, and you have access to teachings like the teaching of the Dalai Lama. Not only you have this freedom, but you also have a lot of facilities, endowments. So the text talks about 10 endowments. The first 5 are called endowments or facilities dependent upon others. That means that you have those facilities. One, that visiting of the Buddha on this planet is very difficult, but you are born at a time when the Buddha has visited this planet. I'm not saying Buddha is here right now, but at an eon when the Buddha has visited. And it is also said in Buddhism that not all the Buddhas who had visited give teachings. It's interesting, you know. Now this will raise a lot of questions, you know, why, you know. So that's why it's interesting, because Buddhism is a philosophical, very rich philosophical, you know, tradition. So everything has a reason. So I can't answer everything. I can only raise the questions to entrap you. I'm joking. So it's difficult for them to give teaching, but we are born at a time when he had given teachings. And even if he had given teachings, the teachings doesn't last long. You know why? Because people don't care. People don't preserve it. People don't nurture it. But we are born at a time when the Buddha's teaching is still existent. Now even if the Buddha has come, he has given teaching, the teaching is still available. But if you do not have other friends who are also doing the same spiritual practice, you will start thinking, oh, maybe it's not so good, not many people are practicing, you see. We are fond of following others, you see. So luckily you have many people who are following that practice. Even here in Israel, there are a number of people who are interested, you see. So that is also there. You have spiritual Dharma friends of Israel. Yeah. So you have Dharma friends. Now even if you have Dharma friends and all other preceding facilities, but if you don't have practitioners who have love and compassion for others, then again you will have difficulty in undertaking this practice. So therefore, the last of the facility of the five facilities dependent upon others is that there are people who practice love and who have love and compassion for others. Now even if you have these five facilities dependent upon others, if you don't have the five facilities that has to come from you, then it will be difficult for you to do Dharma practice, but you also have these five personal endowments. The five personal endowments are: you are born at a time when the Buddha's teaching is there. You are born at a time. Not everybody is born at a time when the teachings are available, you see. You are born at a time when the Buddha's teaching is available. Second, your sense faculties are intact. You are born in a central place, meaning where the sanghas are available, where the practices are available. And then you also have faith to the objects which is worthy of having faith. That means you have faith to the teachings of the Buddha, the three Pitakas. Okay. And then you are your action, your way of life is not wrong, not perverted. Okay. For example, you are fond of giving life to people, not destroying their life. You are fond of helping others, not fond of harming others. So you are leading a kind of right livelihood. So that those internal five personal endowments are also there. So therefore you need to now make the conclusion thinking that I'm really lucky. I have all these facilities and opportunities. You have those facilities and opportunities right now, but don't take it for granted that you will have this for long. Now especially those of us who are already more mature in age, it will be difficult, more and more difficult for us to practice. If you want to read the text, your eyesight may not be so good. When you are young, you are able to read, do so many things, but when you become older and older, it may be difficult for you to read, to listen, or to think. Your brains also becomes a little bit slow. Although the good news is, at one time